Welcome back. We're back with another mock draft. We've gotten some big news uh, today that Travis KELCE is injured and he is currently looking like he might not be playing week one. That is only in 2 days. So that's some concerning news. And then, in addition to that, it's looking like Travis KELCE might not play for 2 to 4 weeks. That's sort of the speculation right now. And as Justin Jefferson goes at the 101, it's going to be interesting to see where Travis KELCE falls in this underdog draft. I do have a couple drafts coming tonight and tomorrow night. And it's going to be important to see, where Travis KELCE's value is. It's terrible that he got injured. It's not just him. It's Mark Andrews and George Kittle are um, looking like they're questionable for week one, might not play. So we're on the clock here. We're gonna take Tyreek Hill. Man, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs must be missing Tyreek right now, but we're gonna take Tyreek Hill at the 104. Bijan goes at the 105. So let's see what Underdog gives as a report. Andy Reid said that Travis KELCE suffered hyperextended knee at practice Tuesday, uncertain for Thursday. And that was reported about 2 hours ago. Yeah, man, KELCE, just 2 days to get ready. Right now, if I have to give my speculation, I would take Travis KELCE probably early to mid-second. I'd be taking people like Nick Chubb, Austin Eckler, CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Garrett Wilson, Saquon Barkley, AJ Brown. I can really see Travis KELCE kind of falling in this wide receiver 10 range where Devontae Adams, Jalen Waddle are. So Travis KELCE just went off the board at the 108. Interesting. I think that's early, a little too early, especially knowing what we know that he might be out for 2 to 4 weeks. I don't know if I do that, to be honest. It could be more too. So, and he's 34. I just don't see the upside there. I really don't see the upside in the first round, especially with players like Garrett Wilson, Nick Chubb, Devontae Adams, still available. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see, if Noah Gray is going to be that player that takes an increase in workload, or if it's going to be the receivers. And if I have to predict, yeah, I think it's going to be the latter. Sky Moore in the slot is going to be good if KELCE's away. So at the 111, AJ Brown goes. At the 112, Amon-Ra St. Brown goes. At the 201, Nick Chubb goes. At the 202, CeeDee Lamb goes. At the 203, Tony Pollard. 204, Saquon Barkley. So no surprises apart from Travis KELCE. I feel like Travis KELCE should be going around here. And maybe Asunder could have gotten Travis KELCE in their second round choice. And then they go Derrick Henry. So they're going really, investing in that old age guys right there. Travis KELCE, Derrick Henry. Jalen Waddle. So we'll be up in 2 picks. So I'm taking a look at Chris Olave here. I'm taking a look at Josh Jacobs. We'll see if any of them fall to us. So Chris Olave goes at the 207. And then Calvin Ridley goes at the 208. So we're on the clock here, and we're gonna go Josh Jacobs. Gonna take a solidified running back, a solidified wide receiver, and we're gonna feel good as we come up in the turn at the 304. So Cooper Kupp is an interesting player, as he looks like he might not play on Sunday. So he is really falling in these underdog draft boards, and it looks like, once upon a time he was probably going the 104. He was very competitive with Tyreek Hill, and now he's going a whole bunch of picks later at the end of the second round. So that's interesting to see as Patrick Mahomes goes at pick 23. We're going to see if we can snag a Jalen Hurts or a Josh Allen here. As Jalen Hurts goes 301. Jalen Hurts at 301, and then Gannon 07 is on the clock. Let's see if they go Allen here. They already took a quarterback. They took Pat Mahomes, so wow, okay, interesting. So I think they're on like auto pick, and they just went Christian McCaffrey, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. It's a way to waste a good $5. So I think we're gonna think about solidifying our running back 2 here. Absolutely, we'll take Jahmyr Gibbs. Taking a lot of Jahmyr Gibbs in these drafts, and essentially what we're gonna do is like double down. It's been really interesting to see some of these sort of results and how much exposure we've had to some of these players, and the players that we've had a lot of exposure to have been Jahmyr Gibbs, have been Ramondre Stevenson, have been Travis Etienne. So we've been taking a lot of these sort of running back 8, 9, 10, 11 sort of low end running back ones. We're hoping they would make the jump up to high end running back ones. So that's really what we've been investing a lot of our capital in. And then in receivers, we've taken a lot of Drake London. We've taken a decent amount of Mike Williams, a lot of Christian Kirk. A lot of these guys tend to fall into us in like the 5th round or 6th round, and they've been really good value picks. So that's really what we've been looking at a lot in these drafts. We haven't gotten a lot of Justin Fields or Joe Burrow. Maybe that's something that we can try to do as we're 8 picks away. As Justin Herbert goes off the clock at the 312. That's the earliest I've ever seen Justin Herbert go. I wouldn't be taking Justin Herbert till probably the 5th round. So Amari Cooper goes, Darren Waller goes at the 402. Darren Waller and TJ Hawkinson are 2 players that I think their draft values are really rising now, knowing that the guys around them, George Kittle, Mark Andrews, Travis KELCE, all have some sort of question marks, concerns with injuries, that I feel like it could be a very value play at grabbing the potential tight end 1 in a unusual 2023. So Christian Watson goes at the 403. Justin Fields goes at the 404. DJ Moore at the 405, as we are 3 picks away. Let's see who we we're thinking about. So a Joe Burrow could be nice. He's not someone we've taken a lot of. If we're looking at receivers, the guys that tend to fall to us are Drake London, Mike Williams, but I wouldn't mind taking a stab at TJ Hawkinson either. I feel like we could go a different strategy as Mike Williams goes off the clock. Joe Burrow or TJ Hawkinson. That could be really interesting. We've typically taken a wide receiver two in these sort of formats when we go to running backs heavy and sort of fade the quarterback or tight end position. So what I'm going to do is take Joe Burrow here. Take Joe Burrow, and if TJ Hawkinson does fall to us, then we could take a gamble at TJ Hawkinson. If Drake London does fall to us, we can take a gamble at Drake London. That's interesting. Taking three running backs and sort of crossing off the flex position before we address wide receiver 2 and 3 could be a unique strategy that we haven't employed yet. Um, I mean, we've done a lot of these drafts where we started off with $200, and our whole team has put in hours this past week, to see what we can to build 40 fantasy football teams. And as you can see on the top right hand corner, we are, down to our last 35, which means we have 7 drafts left. So we've gone through this, our 33rd draft right here. So we're trying to really right now diversify, build new strategies, try not to put all our marbles in the same basket. That's sort of our goal as we're rounding out our $200. So TJ Hawkinson does fall to us. I think we're gonna take a stab at TJ Hawkinson here. It's really interesting to see TJ Hawkinson in the 5th round, because of the players around him, whether it's the first two guys, KELCE or Mark Andrews, or it's George Kittle. They're all, there's a concern with injury, and we essentially we want to stay away from a lot of those players right now. We want to be risk adverse. In my opinion, TJ Hawkinson and Darren Waller's value increase here. So I think I got TJ Hawkinson right at his ADP exactly. I think you should be grabbing him, slightly above his ADP given the situation with the tight end market currently. So that's where I'm at. If you got a draft tonight or tomorrow night, then what I would be doing is honestly trying to see if I can get a 5th round TJ Hawkinson or Darren Waller, and I think you get sort of a steal there. You get good value there. So Christian Kirk goes out the board at the 5-7, Dameon Pierce at the 5-8, Tyler Lockett at the 5-9, Deontay Johnson at the 5-10. Interesting. So we're still 10 picks away. Let's take a look at the draft board currently. We got our FLM draft tomorrow night, and that's what we're looking forward to. And we're, as a matter of fact, let me show the viewers the trophy that we're all fighting for this season. It's a 36-inch spectacle that's gonna weigh 10 pounds. And as the reigning champion of last season, I'm excited to have this shipped into my apartment, and to be able to have this for a couple months before I probably get it back again, hopefully. So we're gonna see what happens, but I'm excited to implement a trophy into our league. into the FLM as we make headway and really start making improvements within the league and become the first professional fantasy football league the world has ever seen. So we're excited about this trophy. Um, we're going to be on the clock in 3 picks. So we still do have one wide receiver. So that's exactly what we're probably looking at with these next 2 picks. And there's those 2 rookies. I don't want to get too many rookies on this team. Let's get some surefire guys. Sky Moore is someone, that we can potentially reach on ADP, but I don't know about 69 when he's going at 88. Um, let's see. Brandon Cooks, Cortland Sutton. Cortland Sutton is wide receiver 1. They're in Denver. So we are on the clock. We're going to take Jordan Addison. He is our most drafted player. And there's a good reason why. We are continuously getting Jordan Addison because he keeps falling to us at the back end of the 6th round, where I think there is good value. I'm looking at the guys around him. We're looking at Jerry Jeudy, who went off the board right after him. We're looking at Zay Flowers. We're looking at Marquise Brown. We're looking at Gabe Davis, Michael Pittman, and Brandon Cooks. All of these players have some sort of potential. As Michael Pittman, Brandon Cooks, we've seen what they can do as we're on the clock. So let me explain right after I make my selection. I'm gonna reach here for Sky Moore. May not be the smartest decision, taking him 10 picks higher than ADP. However, the reason I'm reaching on him is because he's filling in for that slot position right now, essentially where Tyreek Hill used to play. Now that Travis KELCE could be out of the picture for the first 2 to 4 weeks, someone's gonna have to be Patrick Mahomes' favorite target in the slot. He loves to go. That's what Travis KELCE runs. That's what Sky Moore will be running. That's what Tyreek Hill ran. So MVS, he's running, those out routes. He's really testing the range on the field. Whereas Sky Moore is going to be more of a PPR machine. So that's why we went ahead and drafted Sky Moore. But going back to what I was saying, the players around Jordan Addison, I'm not a big fan of. Zay Flowers I do like. I don't mind Zay Flowers. I think he could develop a good connection with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's looking for his wide receiver 1, and there's going to be a lot of opportunity there. When I don't think OBJ is going to be, I don't think he's going to be really that good this year, to be honest. I think he's past his prime. He got his ring. I think he'll be tuned out. And then we know that Mark Andrews is banged up. Could be slow to start the season. So there's potential with Zay Flowers. And then we're looking at a Gabe Davis. We're looking at players like Marquise Brown, Michael Pittman, Quentin Johnston, Cortland Sutton. These are like very low upside guys. Jordan Addison gives you a different upside. Sky Moore gives you a different level of upside that, I can't imagine too many scenarios where Marquise Brown will be this year's wide receiver, a solid wide receiver 2 for you. It's hard to imagine that. I mean, his way to get there is by being wide receiver 1 in Arizona, but last year he played well because Arizona was still trying to win games. They still had a winning culture of some sort, even though they were terrible last year. And I think last year really set a set a vibe for them in a way where they're not they're really not, looking to win. They're trying to get Caleb Williams in this next draft, potentially moving on from Kyler Murray. They traded away D Hop. Their defense is atrocious. Um, their offense is atrocious. I mean, it's just besides Hollywood Brown, like I don't know, it's tough. But we could take a stab at him because he is better than the guys around him right there. He did fall to us in ADP value. We're going to go ahead and take Marquise Brown. We're going to take Marquise Brown where Sky Moore should have gone, and Sky Moore where Marquise Brown should have gone. Marquise Brown, pick 93 at 79 is pretty damn nice, I have to say. The thing is, Marquise Brown is the only player out there in Arizona. I kind of like talked myself into it, which was kind of funny. Where I was out on him, but I talked myself into it, so like just going through their team and figuring out that he's really the only playmaker, James Conner and him. But they're going right, on their floor. Pick 93 is like the lowest he can go. So we took him at his floor as our wide receiver 4 as we're on the clock. So Brian Robinson is someone I'm taking a look at here. Get our running back 3. We're set at quarterback and tight end, which is really nice. And then essentially we rounded out our team where Josh Jacobs, Jahmyr Gibbs are our starting running backs. Tyreek Hill, Jordan Addison, and Sky Moore are starting wide receivers. And then at the flex position, we have a Brian Robinson and Marquise Brown to fill in. And then Joe Burrow, TJ Hawkinson as our quarterback tight end duo we took in the 4th and 5th round. So, team's looking good. There's some good value we got in Marquise Brown. Yeah. I think right now we don't really have a position of weakness. I think we need to take a lot of shots at wide receiver to find our wide receiver 3, because I think it could be that one of these guys ends up being our wide receiver 2. So let's see if we can find some decent dudes with potential, with upside later down the draft, especially with the 10th round coming up. Juju is someone I'm avoiding. A sleeper pick out there in New England is Kendrick Bourne. Let's talk about it. Juju Smith-Schuster is essentially, we're getting reports that his knee could blow up in any play. That is very, very concerning. Then we also got reports about Devontae Parker. Devontae Parker we're hearing I guess he returns to practice, but he was off of an injury. So that kind of leads us to Kendrick Bourne. I think Mac Jones really is taking a step up this season. This is sort of the season for him to prove something. He's already, he did what he did without and we got a comment. Let's go ahead and take Bo for Smurfs comment. How'd I do? 10 team, half PPR. Jalen Hurts, Saquon, Etienne. So far, pretty damn good. Jalen Hurts is an elite quarterback. Saquon Barkley, Travis Etienne. They both have very good upside to be high-end running back 1s, and you got them as value as low-end running back 1s, so I really like that. And we're going to look at the rest of your team right after this selection. So Dalton Kincaid is still here. Um, what I'm looking at is backup tight end potentially, especially with all these tight ends falling off in value. We did take two Minnesota players here, so let's go ahead and take Dalton Kincaid in case the days that Jordan Addison pops off and T.J. Hawkinson does not. Fly market might take Dalton Kincaid as they have zero tight ends. Let's see what happens here. And they take Jacoby Myers. So we're on the clock and we're going to go ahead and take Dalton Kincaid. So let's get back to the team. Next for wide receivers, we got Tyreek, Keenan Allen. Okay. Very good team. I wonder who you got for depth. Pat Freiermuth, he's one of our most drafted tight ends. We love that pick this season. I think that Kenny Pickett is developing out there in Pittsburgh, and he's going to find his guys between George Pickens, between Deontay Johnson, and between Pat Freiermuth. He had a phenomenal season last season. It's just the touchdowns, didn't fall his way. And then on your bench, you have DeAndre Hopkins, Tyler Bass. Okay, that DeAndre Hopkins is your flex. I'm a little hesitant on DeAndre Hopkins, I can't lie. He's someone I think is getting older, past his prime. But if you got decent value on him, then there's some upside. Tyler Bass, Eagles defense. And then bench is Terry McLaurin, Zay Flowers, James Cook, Khalil Herbert. Great bench right there. Terry McLaurin is someone you can get put in to your flex right when he comes back. Zay Flowers is someone you can wait on. You can hope that he develops a connection in these first couple weeks. James Cook and Khalil Herbert are great backup running backs and potential flex guys. Especially Khalil Herbert is someone I like, given he's running back one out there. And then James Cook is also running back one. We've gotten reports that he's going to be doubling his opportunity from last year. And his PPR upside is looking really, really nice. So if I had to rate your team, I'd give it in solid A. I'd give it a 9.5 out of 10. I think you killed it. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and take Nico Collins. He's also one of our sleeper, most drafted wide receivers. He is someone that we at the FLM really believe can take a step up. CJ Stroud in Houston is going to need his guy. Nico Collins is wide receiver one. And you're taking him with an 11th round pick. So there's really no risk that you're taking besides maybe missing on your wide receiver 5. But I think he's going to be a lot better than our wide receiver 5 on a team that I feel like wide receiver is our weakest position, given that we have Hawkinson and Kincaid at tight end, Josh Jacobs, Gibbs, and Robinson at running back, and Joe Burrow at quarterback. So BO4 Smurf said, thanks very much, man. Didn't love the DeAndre Hopkins pick. Kicked myself for not taking Drake London instead. Thanks for the rating. Yeah, man, I would have taken Drake London there instead DeAndre Hopkins, but that's why you got that depth. You got those extra players, so you can put them into your starting roster if DeAndre Hopkins doesn't pan out the way we want him to. So Dalton Schultz goes at the end of the 11th round, and then we're back to Allen Lazard in the top of the 12th round. So now we're looking at a quarterback. Backup quarterback would be nice at 141 or 148. Let's take a look at what backup quarterbacks we could get. Jordan Love is someone who could take a step up this year. Let's see if we can get any stacks. That's really what I'm looking for in Underdog. Tua's gone. Kirk Cousins is gone. Pat Mahomes is gone, of course. We don't want to take an Arizona QB. Houston. CJ Stroud could be our wide receiver quarterback 3, and that would be That'd be interesting because, we paired up Houston's quarterback and wide receiver one as very late value depth guys. So these are the quarterbacks we're looking at. And then running back, Roshan Johnson could be a nice pick. Um, Someone needs to pan out in Chicago. We know that we really like Khalil Herbert here at the FLM. However, we just think that Chicago offense is gonna need to run the ball, and someone it's gonna have to go through someone. So Roshan Johnson actually goes off the clock at the 12:07, and then Tyler Higbee at the 12:08. So I think we're gonna go ahead and take Jordan Love here. We got our backup quarterback, and now we're really looking at running backs and wide receivers. Juju Smith-Schuster has fallen like crazy. He's fallen like crazy. 116 ADP. We're getting heading into the 150 soon. Darnell Mooney is someone that's interesting. Adam Thielen, MVS, Rashee Rice, Michael Gallup. Don't love these picks. Running back wise, we're looking at Damian Harris, Zeke, Tyjae Spears, Deion Jackson, Condre Miller, Singletary, Wilson, Hubbard, Hunt, Vaughn, Edwards, and Chandler. So we could take a Zamir White here to hedge our insurance pick, to hedge our Josh Jacobs pick. I wouldn't mind that later on as one of our last picks. And then for a running back 4, I'd be looking at potential Ty Chandler sleeper pick, especially when we're strong at running back. We can wait on them later on to our draft and take them back to back. So meanwhile, let's go ahead and take a look at the wide receivers. Jane Reed is someone that's interesting. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and take Jaden Reed here. Especially we got Jordan Love. I think it makes all the more sense. Jaden Reed is the wide receiver 3 in Green Bay, as Romeo Doubs is dealing with an injury. He's going to be taking that step up to wide receiver 2. So I think that's a good late round value pick in the 13th or 14th round. And then maybe we go back-to-back wide receiver, really strengthen our wide receiver core by taking depth here. Hawk and Kincaid look good. Running back, I think we're waiting for Chandler and Zamir White later on. Let's see, so... So in the 13th round, Greg Dulcich, Juwan Johnson, MVS, and then to start off the 14th round, Gerald Everett. Van Kinder is on the clock, takes Isaiah Hodgins. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more selections left. So let's take a look at roster construction. We have 2 quarterbacks. We're going to take 1 more quarterback. We have 3 running backs, so we're going to take 2 more running backs. We have 6 receivers. We're going to take 1 more receiver, so that leaves us with 1 pick, 2 picks, 3 picks, 4 picks, and we have 1 more pick for tight end. So as you do your drafts, you want to sort of think about that similar to how I just did, where you want to sort of envision the plan ahead, where you're taking your positions at, and of course you want to adapt quickly based on value. If someone drops to you that you like, you gotta adjust and you gotta be prepared for that. And that just comes with, you know, draft day preparation. Don't pull up to your draft being that guy that watches one video right before and just banks on that. You want to be the guy that consults with FLM. You want to be the guy that make sure they did their injury homework, make sure they did their research. You want to be the guy that comes prepared, so you have to do less work during the season. So Jalen Hyatt goes off the board as we're on the clock. Let's go ahead and take Alec Pierce. I don't think we've taken him at all in these drafts. He's someone we've been like sort of avoiding and just taking the people around him, so might as well get a share of Alec Pierce. See what he's about as a wide receiver 2 out there in Indiana. If Anthony Richardson takes a step up, that would be very, very nice for Michael Pittman, for Alec Pierce. But that's looking tougher and tougher with Jonathan Taylor and on the PUP sitting out for the first 4 weeks. Taysom Hill, kind of a useless pick at this point. Don't be taking Taysom Hill. He's classified as a quarterback week 1. Absolutely useless pick. Maybe I should have taken Musgrave there. Would have been a nice tight end 3. But we'll take... take Dawson Knox. Sort of doing what one of our managers, manager Chipotle, pulled a Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox draft. Essentially, I'm doing the same thing here, just adding a TJ Hawkinson and really maximizing our tight end value there. So that'll be interesting to see how sort of these two teams pan out, where we had the same tight ends, just one extra guy. But I'm really excited for the season to start. It's gonna be a good one. We've done a lot of preparation, a lot of hype for the season. For the FLM, we have our draft that we're gonna be streaming on our YouTube page tomorrow at 8:30. It's gonna be awesome. We're gonna have all 13 FLM managers in one Zoom call, and it's gonna be pretty dope. We're just gonna talk about the draft as we're drafting, and it's gonna be interesting to see where Travis KELCE falls, where Cooper Kupp falls, where Jonathan Taylor falls. As this is our high stakes draft, this is the one that matters for me. This is the one that we are really pushing to be the first professional fantasy football league, and we really think that we have an exciting product for you guys. Whether it is the app that we're developing, or it's the model and the ranking system that we're developing, or it's just the entertainment that we're producing. I think that soon enough you guys are gonna really start to enjoy what we're putting our work in, and our goal through all of this is to make fantasy football easier. I think that's sort of our mission. Fantasy football is far too difficult for beginners, especially those that want to learn, that are curious. My girlfriend, she would want to learn. Fantasy football wasn't so complicated. There's so many people that aren't into sports, that don't watch, but love the community that fantasy football brings. Love the idea of fantasy football, and that's sort of what we're trying to change, and that's what our brand is embracing. So we're excited to sort of improve and give you guys a better product through these next couple years and really improve the game of fantasy football and fantasy sports in general. So Hunter Renfro goes off at the 16:03. I'm going to be on the clock once again very soon. With these picks, I definitely want to be taking... Oh, one of our running backs we wanted went. Interesting. So we're definitely going to have to take a look at our running back 4s and 5s. Hunt and a Samir White could be interesting. Sundar, how has that team with 2 quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, ended up? Let's see. Gain on 07. Let's take a look at your team. Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, C-Mac, Miles Sanders, David Montgomery, Rashad. Not bad running backs. Somehow, some way, this team can compete. I mean, it's not helpful that Quinn Johnson is your wide receiver 3. But in a weird way, I can see that team winning a couple of games. It would have been insane if your team took someone non-quarterback with your 3rd round pick. I'm going to go ahead and take Kareem Hunt. As we saw, he's received 4 offers in the last week. It'll be interesting if he gets signed on. We've seen him work at that running back 2 role already. I don't see why he can't carve out that running back 2 role in another team. So that's exactly what we're banking on as we're going into the 17th round. We're looking at Zamir White here as our running back 5. And then we will have one more selection. So with that last selection, I'm going to be looking at quarterback, running back. I think we're good with wide receivers as we have 7 and tight ends as we have 3. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take Zamir White here. And he's going to be our running back 5. With our next pick, we're either going to take a CJ Stroud or someone like a Deontay Foreman, someone that would be able to start if needed. If when we go down with injury, this team's still alive in some manner. So what I don't like about spreading my positions thin is if there's an injury, you can't trade. However, in Underdog, you can't trade, period. So as Brian Carter says, what's good? What's good, Brian? You got a fantasy question? So Jeff Wilson goes off at the 17:08. You shouldn't be drafting Jeff Wilson. He is injured. He is on the IR. He won't be playing this season. Don't be drafting Jeff Wilson. A. Sundar has been taking some questionable picks as of late. We saw him take Travis KELCE, Conquo. Lots of receivers. Interesting team. Feeling pretty good about my team so far. Brian said 10-team PPR, 2 flex quarterback, Allen, tight end Andrews, running back Saquon, Javonte Williams, JT, Breece Hall, Elijah Mitchell, Bigsby, Algier, wide receivers CD, Deontay, Addison, Lockett, Elijah Moore, Nico, Zay Jones. Thoughts? All right, so you got, this team is stacked, I gotta say. You got that elite end quarterback in Josh Allen. Then you went ahead and got an elite tight end, Mark Andrews. Here's the thing with Mark Andrews is he is questionable for this week. He did just come back from practice. He is dealing with something, so I'd be monitoring that. And then for running back, we have Saquon, Javonte Williams, JT, Breece Hall, Elijah Mitchell, Bigsby, and Algier. So you got a lot of depth. What I would be trying to do is seeing if I can trade some of this depth away for that running back two that I can be starting right now. Javonte Williams has upside. I do like that pick, but I would prefer him as my running back three. And then JT is someone that has league winning upside later on in the season. So that's really nice, but to start off, you want to have a strong start in the first couple weeks and make sure you don't lose any games. So see if you can make a trade and trade some of your depth away for a running back too. And then wide receivers, CD, great pick. Deontay, Addison, Lockett, Elijah Moore, Nico, Zay Jones. We love a lot of these picks here at the FLM. CD's a slam dunk pick as your wide receiver one. We love Addison. He is our most drafted player this season. And then Tyler Lockett is a great sure pick. I like him more than JSN this season. Um, I think he's carved out himself out a role already. And then Elijah Moore is a little questionable, but Nico Collins makes up for that. Nico Collins is one of our other most highest drafted players, where he is going to be the wide receiver one out there in Houston, and he's going to find a way potentially to be a wide receiver three for a lot of fantasy football teams. And then Zay Jones is someone we like as well. We so far, if I have to rate this team, I'd give it an A minus. I'd give it a solid 9 out of 10. I think with a couple trades, potentially one or two trades, you can really make this team go from an A minus to an A plus. So I'd be excited if I were you, Brian. So we took CJ Stroud as our last pick, and that wraps up our draft. We got Joe Burrow, Jordan Love, and CJ Stroud as our quarterbacks. Running backs, we got Josh Jacobs, Jameer Gibbs, Brian Robinson, Kareem Hunt, and Zamir White. Wide receivers, we got Tyreek Hill, Jordan Addison, Sky Moore, Marquise Brown, Nico Collins, Jaden Reed, and Alec Pierce. And then tight ends, we got TJ Hawkinson, Dalton Kincaid, and Dawson Knox. So that's going to wrap it up for us on this live stream. I want to thank everyone for asking questions in the chat, and we're going to be back, live streaming today, tomorrow, the day after. So we want to make sure that you subscribe, you follow Fantasy Lom at Instagram and on TikTok. And until next draft,